this is PTSD kind of stuff. It's going to follow them, haunt them the rest of their lives. We will need an army of nurses. A nurse is the most trusted professional in a young woman's life. The ultrasonographer brings the picture up, and there's an amniotic anomaly that looked like a little halo over this little preborn baby, activating that motherhood gene in a woman that when she hears her baby's heartbeat.
Well, if you're enjoying Table Talk, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Remember to click that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest posts. So what happens when God grips your heart with a burden you can't ignore? Well, today's guest answered the call to stand for the most vulnerable, the unborn children. And he's here to share how it all started with a simple yes. But before we get to that, joining me on the table is April Simons. Sometimes it starts with a simple yes, you know, when you're talking to the Lord.
Yes. One yes can change your destiny, and it can change the course of your legacy. And this show, man, it's going to be so good. Thanks for having shows like this.
Oh.
This is real, this is raw, and I just love it. It's going to help people.
Thank you for being here. Anna Kendall, how are you?
I'm delighted about this show also. I think it can change the course of the world if people will just listen to the information today.
All right, Rachel Lamb Brown.
I'm excited.
You're passionate about the unborn.
Whenever you have a baby, it just changes everything.
Yeah.
You know, when you hold that little life in your hand.
I was there both times.
You were.
You delivered both.
And I'm the only one out of all your kids that you got to see.
Standing there.
Both grandbabies.
That's because Rachel's like, I want everybody in the room.
Yeah. No, I wanted, it's such an important moment, and I wanted you all to be there to celebrate.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Dorothy Newton, how are you?
Doing so good.
Got three grandbabies now.
Yes, 3 grandbabies.
Pretty soon, obviously, you got 4, you got 5.
just three, maybe one more, and then hopefully that's it. But they're
Never
beautiful.
know.
You know, every day, the first thing before I get out of bed, before I do anything, I say, Lord, thank you for the gift of life.
Yeah.
Because the life he gives is so precious and beautiful.
Yes, it is.
And oh my goodness, it's
So
this show today is going to hopefully help a lot of people.
I hope so. Cindy Johnston, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Happy to be here today and excited to hear what we're going to talk about. It's so important.
Yeah,
And
serious topic.
Yes.
We're going to approach it with compassion and love and truth.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's what's important, is that we do know the truth and that we do what is right.
That's right. So good, so good. Dan Steiner, welcome to the table. So glad you're here today.
My pleasure.
And we're going to get into your story. It's a great story. It's one thing to oppose abortion, but it's another to run toward the pain, to bring hope to the broken and fight for life. That's what Dan Steiner has done. And he shares how God turned his burden into a movement, one of the biggest movements in the world, and why we must all answer the call to stand for life. Now, without going into all your story, I'm going to go back to that moment where you kind of had your surrender moment, and you knew Jesus, but you had received him, invited him into your heart, but then you had actually a vision. You can tell that story one night as you were praying. And what was the vision?
Yeah, and so was seeking the Lord and just so grateful for what he'd done and dying for me and taking my sin, giving me heaven and the promise of eternity, and said, Lord, what can I do for you? And
listen, when you say that, I'm just telling you right now.
Be ready.
Watch out.
Be ready, okay? He's waiting on you to ask him, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, okay, Lord, here I am, you know. And that's what you did. What can I do for you? And what
that
did
is a defining moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
This, you know, God has a plan for that. So just to be asked, there's a willingness there, and I did. And he showed me his broken heart as the father to the fatherless of all of these little babies who lose their lives globally. That's about 1 million a week, 800,000 globally in all the countries in the world. America's like number 33 or something. We think we're first in everything. We're not. It's a good thing not to be first in that. But he showed me his broken heart. And so that's really, I wanted to alleviate his pain as to stop abortion. What stops it? And so that set me on a path as to what really stops abortion, what really can be done productively to do it. There's protesting, and it's a good thing to protest something as horrible as the American Holocaust, but doesn't save a lot of lives. Not a lot of them. There's legislation, and even though that's a great thing we should do, even as the returning back of Roe versus Wade, there were 100,000 more abortions after that stopped. So sometimes the legislation doesn't work as well as it should. But I'll tell you what does work. Activating that motherhood, I would call it even a gene in a woman, that when she hears her baby's heartbeat, I've had OBGYNs tell me there's actually a gynecological hormonal reaction in a woman when she hears her own baby's heartbeat on an ultrasound. And she will choose life. It doubles the likelihood that she will choose life.
And so we're going to get into that, ultrasounds and pro-life centers, over 250 now in America. But how did it start? Like, how did you start? Because you were an executive for a company, and the Lord's telling you, I want you to go this direction. Talk a little bit about talking to your wife about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a changing point. You know, we were working in the trucking industry, and then, you know, I really felt this burden to try to stop abortion. So we went into starting a little pregnancy clinic and working with one in central Midwest. And then we really got the burden that, you know, there's a whole lot more abortions in like Los Angeles or New York, and what can we do about that? What's worked in Indianapolis could maybe work across the country. And so I said to Valerie, you know, you think we should do this? Women are typically pretty security-oriented about me quitting my job on this idea. But she said, you know, I think you can do it. And based on her confidence in the Lord first and myself, why we started out in our spare bedroom, doing an office there, and we had nothing. But the Lord really stepped in because it's His heart to stop these. He sees every abortion and it breaks His heart. And so though we had nothing, now preborn is, you know, in every state, and, you know, really just saves thousands.
There's 40 here in the state of Texas.
Oh, wow.
And so you join with these pro-life clinics and do what?
So we are a leverage strategy to help save more lives by finding the women on the internet. The biggest abortionist today is not Planned Parenthood, despite the fact that we're trying to defund them, and hopefully that works through the passing of the one big beautiful bill. The biggest abortionist is abortion pills. And so you have to find them on the internet because they're Gen Zs and millennials, and they're searching for abortions, and they find the abortion pill. Get them to call our call center, make an appointment for them in one of our partner clinics, and then in those partner clinics, make sure they have an ultrasound machine, make sure they have a nurse that's being paid. We pay for the nurse, part of her salary, to be able to give the ultrasound scan to the girl. And then also we train these clinics to lead the woman to Christ. So it's kind of like a whole portfolio.
And so you have to be very strategic and go to where women would be looking to be there and to be available. And this is one of those stories. This is a young lady after starting a chemical abortion, which is the abortion pill, which is very dangerous. Jabra was filled with regret, and here's her story. Let's see how she chose to fight for her baby.
So when I found out I was pregnant, I was very shocked. I was like, it was definitely unexpected. Then I had people telling me, like, no, don't do that, have an abortion. So I was very highly influenced to go to Planned Parenthood. So when I got there, I spoke to a nurse. She told me that, well, you came here anyway, so maybe you should get the abortion. It was influencing me because I kept saying, if it doesn't have a heartbeat or if it doesn't have this, you know, just trying to justify a lot of things that shouldn't have been justified. What they make you do is they make you take the first pill with them. She told me to put 2 in one cheek and 2 in this cheek and let it sit there for 30 minutes. And all I could think of is you tasting death. She told me to find my comfort zone, and it's hard to find a comfort zone when you're getting rid of your child. As soon as I left the office, I started shaking, and I just was like, Jabra, what did you do? As soon as I got home, I seen my kids, and my kids said, Mommy, how's the baby? And I just was like, how do you tell them, like, Mommy's not having a baby no more. I was crying, I was shaking, and I'm looking through the papers like, how do I stop this? Like, what do I do? I was sobbing. It was a cry for prayer for God. I'm so sorry, please. So I got on the internet and I looked up, how can you stop an abortion from only taking the first pill? And I just started seeing like abortion pill reverse. Is this real? And I found a hotline number. So I'm like, please, God, let me call this number, be real. I called it and somebody actually answered the phone. Miss, I really need help. I mistakenly took a pill and I'm so scared. I don't know what to do, please. I just was like panicking. They get me started immediately on progesterone and told me everything, like it's gonna be okay. When I came here, my heart was so warm. Somebody would go as hard as if it was their children to make sure your child is gonna be alive and stay safe. So I want a lot of people to know it's possible. You can save your baby. You can reverse that abortion.
So the end of the story with Jabra is that she got progesterone quick enough to counter the abortion pill, and she carried the baby to full term.
That's correct. Yeah.
And had her baby.
You have to catch that, even though they've taken the first pill within, I believe it's a 72-hour window, and you give them a super injection of progesterone, it'll stop the action of the first pill, which is to cut off the baby's supply of food. The second pill then is to expel the baby. But if you catch it after that first pill, it can be reversed, and many, over 1,000 have been saved that way.
Wow. So how dangerous is the abortion pill? Talk about that.
This is a travesty that's being foisted on the women of America under the guise of, under the progressive party of being health care, when in fact, the best thing that can happen, just to be honest with you, is that she is going to go through hours and hours of bloody trauma, deliver her baby on her bathroom floor. I had a woman just last week that said, I delivered the baby on the bathroom floor and his heart was beating and I could see it struggling and fade away. And then I didn't know what to do with it. And this is what, you know, the Democratic Party, frankly, is doing and saying is health care. That in a normal abortion, a mechanical abortion in an abortion clinic like Planned Parenthood, they don't see the baby and they don't have to dispose of the body. But now what's happening, 70% of the time now, 70% of the abortions are chemical abortions in your neighbor's teenage daughter's bathroom, where she's gonna have to go back to the site of the crime every day afterwards. She has to dispose of the body.
What kind of long-term damage can happen as a result of the abortion pill?
Joni, this is PTSD kind of stuff. This is traumatic, you know, it's going to follow them and haunt them the rest of their lives. And that's the best thing that can happen. What we found here in the month of May just recently was a study of 867,000 insurance claims. This isn't pro-life hyperbole now. This is insurance claims of women that had taken the abortion pill, and 11% of them, fully 11% of that 800,000, do the math, that's tens and tens of thousands, had serious hospitalizations from taking this thing. They bleed out. Part of the, you know, a woman that takes an abortion pill, most women are 19 to 24. They have no idea gestationally how far along they are. The abortion pill is supposed to be at 7 weeks effectiveness. Barack Hussein Obama extended it to 10 weeks. And it's, you know, but they might be 14 weeks, so the placenta doesn't get expelled, and, you know, a week later they've got, you know,
is there not guidelines for, like, how long?
It's a DIY deal, do it yourself.
And so, like, there could be parts still left, you know.
That's right.
And, you know, it's not like when they go get an abortion, they don't see a lot of what's happening, which is horrific, but they see the whole thing, which is crazy. But you have to understand this. Every day, women are pressured to end their pregnancies, and Planned Parenthood is not health care for women, okay? It's not. It's not. If you don't believe me, take a look.
I was kind of hoping for an ultrasound because I would love to have, you know, the pictures, make sure the baby's healthy and stuff like that, you know, see the gender.
But we won't be able to tell you if it's healthy or the gender. If you're, you know, we specialize in abortions, you know, that's what our ultrasounds are for, to see how far along the patient is.
Do you do any ultrasounds in your clinic at all?
We do, but not as standalone.
What do you mean?
We don't do them by themselves.
What do you do them with?
We do them when performing abortion procedures.
Okay, so you said that they use ultrasounds for terminations only.
Yes.
We tell you you're pregnant, and we also attempt her to do the abortions.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So other than a pregnancy test, I heard you guys had ultrasounds. Would it be possible?
No, we only do ultrasounds if you are terminating.
Oh. Would it be possible to get an ultrasound to just check that the baby's healthy?
No, not something we offer.
Oh, okay. You don't offer. I thought you did offer ultrasounds, but maybe I was confused.
Well, we do have to do an ultrasound with an abortion, but we don't offer them, so we can't do anything to make sure that the pregnancy is fine.
Do you do ultrasounds here or something?
We do, but only for the abortion.
Oh, yeah. Also, if I was having an abortion, then I could get the ultrasound, but since I want the prenatal, I see. Okay.
In Planned Parenthood, you can only get the ultrasound for abortions?
Yes, ma'am, because that's the only service that we do. We don't do any prenatal care or adoption here.
One of the things that we see happening today is that the defunding of Planned Parenthood, which Medicaid is paying about $700 million to them for this kind of care. And so this has been huge for this administration.
Yeah, what a wonderful thing that we've got an administration that just isn't rhetorical about it, but actually has done something on a lot of things. Appointed pro-life judges and positioned pro-life cabinet members. J.D. Vance is pro-life. This is wonderful. And it could go for many terms. We pray that it will.
But there's still work to be done.
There's a lot of work to be done, particularly on, there's something called the Comstock Act, which is an existing law that says you cannot mail abortifacients through the U.S. Postal Service. If we would just enforce that 1850, I think, act, it would stop chemical abortion, which is now 70% of all abortions. So there's more work to be done, and we have got the right administration with the Trump administration to do this.
Well, I know that for you, the Lord showed you strategically how to partner with these pro-life centers and to make available ultrasound. And so over the course of you doing this, how many ultrasounds have you seen done by women that have come to these pro-life centers?
So we have placed over 600 ultrasound machines for free in pregnancy clinics throughout America. We'll give them to anybody for free. Save a baby, go ahead. And then annually we underwrite thousands of ultrasound sessions, nurses giving women free ultrasound sessions worth about $400 medical service to these women in centers throughout New York, Los Angeles, Florida, Texas, Chicago, Washington, D.C., all across the country for free. We do that. Plus, we find the woman on the internet searching for the abortion, hook her up to our call center and our nurses, and make an appointment for her in these clinics so all that can happen.
So you're very intentional, but about how many ultrasounds do you think have been performed? What is the number?
Let's see. So we've seen 35,000 babies saved so far this year.
Wow.
So that would be about 50,000 ultrasounds.
Wow, that is amazing.
This year, so far.
So, Rachel, you can attest to this. I guess we all had ultrasounds, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, so to you, that is the key. You said to activate the mother, like it's almost like 100% if they see that baby on an ultrasound. What did it do for you the first time you saw Judah?
It's literally, you just can't even believe it. Like the miracle of life that, you partnered with God to create this little soul, and it's there beating alive and moving. And it's that feeling is indescribable until you experience it for yourself.
I still have the printout pictures, which I really can't. Back 40 years ago, you couldn't tell a whole lot.
We were really proud of what we had back then, but it's not what they have now.
That was my child.
Yeah.
And
now they have 3D ones.
I know.
Yours is still in your baby book. Your ultrasound picture.
Yeah, you can't really see anything.
Yes, I can see your little nose and your outline of your head as a little human being.
We could see.
And to feel the baby moving.
But those early pictures in the technology we have now, what are some, I know we got a story we're going to share, but what are some of the reactions from women that are like, no, I want an abortion?
I got to tell you, it's life-changing. I had one that was looking for a sign from God. She didn't tell us that, but she had prayed, God, if you don't want me to go through this, then let me know. And she comes into the ultrasound room, the ultrasonographer brings the picture up, and there's an amniotic anomaly that looked like a little halo over this little preborn baby. She goes, that's my sign from God. and so she chose life. See all kinds of miracles like that.
Oh, my goodness.
And I got to say, Rachel, that Valerie, my wife, is the most pro-life person I know because she loved being pregnant and loves being a mother. And, you know, it's just such a...
Y'all 5 times you had, right?
We between us, we have 5 kids and 9 grandkids, so it's a whole letter. But it's a privilege that men just can't even get their arms around. It's such a great thing.
Well, you know, Briella thought abortion was her only option, but an ultrasound, just like we're talking about, opened up her eyes. Let's see how God's great plan worked out for her.
I had a baby in April, and a few months later, I found out I was pregnant. At that point in time in my life, it was like a dark period. Me and my husband was not together. We wasn't seeing eye to eye. So I reached out to a friend, and they were telling me that they knew someone that could give me the abortion pill. And as I sent her the money, nothing felt odd about it at all. After a while, things started getting really awkward. A few weeks go by, and I'm moving further along in the pregnancy, and she ended up taking my money, and I never got the pill. But I didn't realize that was God's plan because he was supposed to be here. Miss Christie invited me to go look at the baby and, on the sonogram. And so I go in and I look at the sonogram, and I'm looking like, oh, I hear the heartbeat, I hear the baby, and the sonographer act like, do you want to know the sex? And I'm like, sure, that's fine. She tells me, you're having a boy. 12 years ago, I had prayed and asked God for a boy. But I got diagnosed with breast cancer 6 months after I got married. That Wednesday, I had an abortion and had chemo that same day. And to think about, 12 years ago, I prayed for this little boy, and he didn't come when I wanted him to. He came in God's timing. And to think about, if I would have taken that abortion pill, I never would have known him. So God saved him. Not only did he save him, he saved me in a different type of way.
So many great stories, right?
And we're right there for each one of these mothers. One thing to say, you know, you should have this baby, but like, I don't have a place to live. My boyfriend kicked me out, or I don't have any money. I lost my job, and I'm going to have a baby. And, so
and that's what you do, the follow through.
2 years
you
afterwards.
don't only say you need to have or choose life. We say choose life. We're going to show you what the baby looks like. Yeah. But then you say, well, and we're going to help you. If you need maternity clothes, if you need food, if you need shelter, if you need somewhere to go, if you'd like to adopt, and that's what the church has got to do beyond saying, don't have an abortion. And that's what you do. And well, do y'all love these stories?
Absolutely. They're so amazing. How can people that want to be involved and help the work you're doing be a part of what you guys are doing across the country?
Even nurses, like retired nurses, et cetera.
Oh, we will need an army of nurses to be able to be on the phones reaching these women. A nurse is the most trusted professional in a young woman's life, and they have tremendous influence on these young women that are in the valley of decision. And so if you're a nurse and you want to volunteer, here's your opportunity to be greatly used by Jesus, actually save a life, to be used by Jesus Christ. But, you know, we need people to come into our clinics and fold diapers and do administrative work and answer telephones. And we need people to give.
How important is that? Like, did you hear she said one of the earlier testimonies, someone actually answered the phone?
Yes.
Because you get prompts for everything you call.
Yeah, no.
But when a voice, and you can capture that moment, right, if you have a real person.
It's not somebody in the Philippines. It's
and
somebody right there.
it's not somebody condemning you. They're given options. And I love how y'all even direct to adoption as well. That's huge.
Yeah, we live in a dyslexic society where we have 1 million people that want to adopt and can't have children, and we're killing 1 million babies. So what gives with that? And we're taking their lives. And so virtually every woman that comes in, we give them the option for adoption. Adoption is a wonderful option. Hopefully, under the Trump administration, as we continue to forward wonderful conservative policy, it's not about personality, it's about policy, that we can make adoption more user-friendly, less expensive, maybe even stipends, so that we can get more of these babies, alternatives to moms. I really believe and have seen over thousands of women that if you de-escalate the pressure on them, because the mother of the pregnant girl is the one who's pushing her most of the time to abort the grandbaby, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. That's
And
terrible.
you know, and then the husband, boyfriend, or significant, whatever he might be, pressing her to abort. But if you get her to see that this is her baby, her time inside her womb, and you offer her help and alternatives like adoption, you know, fully paid for, that she will choose life.
Well, even I've heard stories of where the boyfriend or husband would come with them and want her to carry the baby. Like you said, there's like a new dynamic going on of responsibility, you know, where the woman wants to and the man doesn't.
I just have the greatest story on that. We had a guy come in here a few months ago with his girlfriend, and she really wanted to carry, and he was really pushing her to abort. So brought him in the room, and he's kind of pecking away on his cell phone, as one might expect, while she's running up the ultrasound scan and the picture of the baby on the screen, and he's glancing up. And at one point when he looked up, the baby does this. And he freaks out. He goes, I must do that 5 times a day. That's my son. That's my son. And chose life resoundingly as a result of that. Now the baby was just looking to suck his thumb. That's what was going on, you know? But
we'll take it. We'll take it. That's awesome. That's awesome. And we are out of time, but if someone, say, wanted to buy an ultrasound machine, could they do that?
preborn.com. 100% of the money that's given for an ultrasound machine goes to buy an ultrasound machine. $28, you can underwrite an ultrasound scan. All $28 of the $28 goes to our clinics. It's restricted income, and so we want to be stewards of that.
That's great. Well, we are really proud of you.
Yes.
All of us here at the table.
Jesus. Yeah, so thankful.
And it is about Jesus, but Jesus is proud of you. I believe you're going to hear well done one day as a result of your obedience. Well, we're out of time today, but I want you to remember the burden that God puts on your heart matters more than you know. And whether he's asking you to reach one person or 1,000, your obedience makes a difference. And especially in the subject we're talking about right now, as the Lord maybe sends people across your path or even in your family, that you can remember some of the things that we've talked about, because you know what? Your yes and just being obedient to respond with truth can change lives for eternity. If you're watching today and you need prayer, there is a prayer line number on the screen. Our prayer partners are standing by ready to pray with you. And I do want to thank Dan for joining us. To get more information about his ministry, visit preborn.org. Write that down, preborn.org. Pray for him and for all of the pro-life centers that he's affiliated with. And as always, make sure to follow us on all social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel for full episodes, exclusive content, and let us know how Table Talk is touching your life. I do want to say, if you're watching today and you had an abortion, now we love you and God loves you. And, you know, you just invite Jesus into your heart. He will forgive you and he'll forgive you for that. And you'll see that baby again. That you cannot destroy a baby. You can't. It's an eternal soul. And so I've heard so many great testimonies of women who have the Lord, that maybe they had an abortion and they asked the Lord, you know, I'm sorry that I made this decision, you know, forgive me. And of course he does. And then they would just have almost like an epiphany where the Lord would show them if it was a boy or girl, and they'd even give a name.
Right.
And they knew they would see that baby again. So if you've had an abortion, there's no condemnation here, okay? Right. We love you. Again, that's why that prayer line number is on the screen. Of course, you can also listen to the Joni Table Talk podcast, available now on all the major platforms. But I want to thank you so much for watching. If you need prayer today, if you did pray that prayer and invite Jesus into your heart, call the number on your screen. That is the most important prayer that you can pray today. Thank you, Dan, for being here. Keep us up to date on any big happenings.
Will do.
Okay, because we have an open window,
yes,
like over the next couple of years.
Amen.
And so I'm excited about that. Thank you for being here. And thank you, ladies. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for today. Well, you know, there's always more to the story. If today's conversation stirred something in your heart, don't let it end here. Click on the next video to keep growing in faith and truth. And if you haven't yet subscribed, turn on the bell so you never miss a moment. Let's keep pressing in together.